How are you today? Welcome back again to another live stream session. It's been a minute. I hope you are well. I am back. We are back. Welcome again, dressmakers and friends. Welcome again to another live stream session. I hope the light is good enough. I hope we can all see what I'm doing. Today we are going to be learning how to make a bustier pattern. Alright, so I think we are good to go. It's time to start. This bustier pattern is a very easy method, and I thought to show us so that we can learn this easy method also. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly clean the lens so that we can see everything I need to do clearly. So now this is good enough, so let's begin. So the first thing is I want to go ahead to draw my starting line on this paper. Okay, and this my starting line is now going to serve as my neckline. Okay, so also from here I'm going to draw another starting line, which is just going to be like a border. Okay, so this is good enough. So this bustier pattern we are going to be drafting is going to be like the half length pattern. Okay, so let me try to see if I could zoom this in a little bit more so I can bring the lens closer to us. Okay, so I think it's closer now and it's better. All right, so if you guys are ready, I am ready. Let's get into the pattern drafting right now, which we will need the hip, the waist circumference. Also you also need the distance between your shoulder to nipple, your shoulder to under bust, and your shoulder to your half length. Okay, so now let's get into this pattern drafting. All right, so now the first thing to do is to come in here, and I'm going to be measuring 1 inch downwards, and this 1 inch right here is going to be my shoulder slope. So I measure that 1 inch all across. So now that is taken out, so all measurements is going to start from here. Right now this is going to be like the 1 inch shoulder slope. Okay, so from this measurement now, the next thing I'm going to take is going to be my armhole depth, and my armhole depth I'm going to be taking the measurement from right here. Okay, so my armhole depth is 8.25. so from this line, okay, this line is going to now be my shoulder line, because this is where my shoulder slope is going to sit. Okay, this is where I'm going to have my neckline. All right, so now I think it's best to use this marker so that we can all see clearly. So I'm just going to draw both lines again so that it is more visible. Okay, so the lines are better now. So next thing to do now is to come from here now to take the measurement of shoulder to the armhole depth. which calculated by bust divided by 6 plus 1.5, and that's calculated is going to give me 8.25. So I mark out 8.25 all across, and I square that across. And this now is my armhole depth. This is my armhole depth. Okay, so the next line after this is going to be your shoulder to your nipple point, and all measurements is now going to be taken from right here. Okay, so from here now, shoulder to your nipple point, this is going to be 11 inches. 11 inches is what I'm going to have right here. Okay, so from the neckline I have 11 inches here, and I also have the same 11 inches marked here. Okay, so now I'm going to square that out all across. Okay, so now this is my bust point, which is also my shoulder to nipple. Okay, and after this, the next thing I'm going to now measure out will be my under bust. My main under bust is measuring 15 inches. So 15 inches here and 15 inches there, and I square that across as well. Okay, I'm simply highlighting this starting line. Okay, so this starting line is now going to be the center front of this pattern. So right now I'm drafting the front pattern of this bustier, and this bustier is going to be ending on the half length. And I'm simply taking the measurement of the half length like so. 17 inches. So 17 inches on the shoulder line, just like that. Okay, now we have all our vertical measurements in place, and the next thing to do now is to go ahead to get our horizontal measurement. Okay, all right, so now to get the horizontal measurement, I'm going to be starting from the neck. I'm going to be imputing my neck into this area. So my neck depth is going to now be, for this style, I'm going to be taking in a neck depth of 7 inches. Okay, so I'm going to place my tape rule ½ inch above and then mark out my 7.5 inches, which is going to be my neck depth. All right, so and I do the same thing as well for my neck width, which is going to be 3.5, 3.5 inch. Okay, so now I connect that all together and I draw out my neck. So this is the neck. All right, then I come right here to take the measurement of my shoulder line. The shoulder is 15 inches. 15 inches divided by 2, that would give me 7.5. Okay, so I go ahead to mark that ½ inch above. All right, and then ½ inch below right here. And now all I need to do is square this across this way. And now this is going to be my shoulder line. I came down here by 1 inch from this line that you see right here. right here. All right, so next now you want to go ahead to, I'm going to be doing all of that thing with a pencil, then outline it with a marker later, but I can promise you are going to see what I'm doing. Okay, so the next thing I want to do now is to take out my under bust tightening, and that I'm going to do by checking out the bust span. The bust span measurement here, which I'm working on, is, just need to confirm that right now. So the bust span I'm working on right now is 8 inches. So 8 inches now divided by 2 will give me 4. I'm just trying to confirm that again. Okay. So let's do 8.25, then dividing that by 2 is going to give me 4.1. So I come here to the 4.1 point. On this bust point, which is the shoulder to nipple line, you impute your 4.1 here, okay? And you also do the same on your under bust line, 4.1. And you also do the same on your half length, 4.1, okay? So if this bustier is going to be the blouse length, you go ahead to extend this bust line all the way to the blouse length, okay? So I'm going to label this the under bust, and this is the half length, so we don't get confused. Okay, so now I'm going to take this all the way down from the nipple point, and once that is done, the next thing to do is to, hi, hello, hi, nice to meet you all. Thanks for joining. Don't forget to like this live stream, okay? All right, so from this point now, the next thing to do is to go ahead to calculate the difference between your waist and your under bust. And the difference between my waist and the under bust right here is actually 2.5 inches. And how did I arrive by that? It is the waist measurement, the bust measurement minus the under bust, okay? When you divide that by 4, it's going to give you a figure, and all you need to do is multiply that by 2, okay? So, and I have 2.5 as my value. So this 2.5 now, I decide to put 1 inch or 0.75 right here, okay? And right here I decide to put just the remaining, or I do 1 inch from over here like this, and right here I do the remaining 1.5, okay? Whichever one you do is just totally fine by you. So I think we should just stick to 1 inch here, 1.5 inch here, okay? So I connect these two lines together, okay? So now I connect back to this bust point using the curve, okay? Ensure that the curve ruler hits the bust point from the under bust line, just like I am doing right now. You want to take out any excess that may just be right there, okay? So ensure that it hits just like that, and then you turn the curved ruler the other way, and then you also, okay? So once you've been able to get your calculation right, your bustier pattern will come out right, okay? So from this point, I come over here to check for the midpoint of my shoulder line, okay? And I have that right here, and then I connect this line to the midpoint of my shoulder line, just like this. All right, so I'm just going to quickly highlight this for us to see. Okay, so I believe we can see this, and then all we need to do is to get this connected. So the next thing to do now is to come on here and then make our armhole curve. The half of our shoulder is 7.5. I come down here and I measure the same 7.5 right here, and I draw a line to square this across. Alright, now that I have this line, I come on to this armhole depth line, which is my chest line, and I measure out my bust divided by 4, and that's going to give me 10.1 in inches. Okay, I mark out the 10.1 right here, and then I come on here, divide this line by 2, and that's going to give me 4, and I go ahead to impute my front width. Okay, so the front width is 14 inches, and that will be 7 inches if I divide 14 divided by 2. So that's 7 inches, and I bring my curved ruler right here to connect the curve together. Okay. Now this is connected just like this. Then I come on here to divide these lines into several layers, all extending forward. Okay, and I add a 1 inch dart right here. Okay, 1 inch dart to the right and 1 inch dart to the left. That is 2 inches. Then I connect this back to the bust point. Please note that you can add less than 2 inches if you are actually making a pattern for a smaller size. This pattern is actually for a plus size. This bust is almost 41 inches. Okay, please note that if you are making a pattern for somebody who is about size 10 or size 6 or 8, ensure that you go lower than the 2 inches that I just used right here. Now what I want to do is to make room for these 2 inches and then return it back right here. Okay, so what I want to do is come on here and return back my 2 inches. Then check out what I have here. I measure it here. This is 1.75, and I return it back from this curve right here. Okay, return it back over here, 1.75, and check out what I have here as well. Okay, so check out what I have right here. I have 1.4, then I return it back right here. Let me confirm that again. So, and I come on here and check again, 1.1 inch from the curve. Please note that everything that I'm returning back here, I am using this curve as my guideline. I'm using this curve as my guideline. So I have here 1 inch, then I have here 3/4, then I have here 1/2 inch. Okay, so now I put on my curve ruler and I connect all of these points together. Ensuring that I catch most of the points. Okay, so this is now going to be the new armhole depth. So you connect this okay, you connect this just like so. All right, and then now you can augment for the bust, waist and hip. So now let's get back to the horizontal measurements. So now I come on here to say what's my bust divided by 4, and what I have here is 40.5 divided by 4 in inches. I have here 10.1. Okay, then I come on the under bust to say what's my under bust measurement, and I have that to be 35 divided by 4. 35 divided by 4 is going to give me 8.75, and I come on here to measure. What do I have? I have 3 inches, and I bring the 3 inches forward right here, and I mark out my 8.75. Okay, and then I do the same thing right here. What's my waist? My waist is 37. I come on here, I have 3 inches, and then I mark out what is left of my 37 divided by 4, and that's 9.25. Okay, so I'm connecting all of these dots together. All right, and it's going to definitely seem like this. Okay, so this is what I am going to have. By the time I fold this in and I take this, it goes back to the position it should. But if you have your pattern looking like this, it is definitely correct. It's looking like it's more than what it should look like. Usually if you draft your pattern, it should go in this direction. I understand, but this is actually correct. If your pattern turns out this way, it is actually correct. Okay, so now this is what we have on the front pattern of the bustier. As long as you take out the right measurement for your tightening, as long as you do your tightening right here on the shoulder correctly, I can assure you that your bustier pattern will come out right. So at this point, I go on to fold this in. Fold this in this way, ensuring that this meets at this point. Okay, then reconnect this back to this line, which is the shoulder line. Okay, so take out your tracing wheel, all right, and then use that to trace that out. So you should have something that looks like this. Okay, so this is the front pattern of this bustier. All right, so you can now go ahead to do whatever you like. If you want it to be a princess style line, all you need to do is to ensure that you connect this point to the front width, which is right here. Here is our front width. Connecting this like this makes it into a princess bustier, okay? And then it can still go all the way to the shoulder if that is the style line that you want. All you need to do, if you want a princess, all you need to do is close this right here, okay? And ensure that you're cutting right here. Seal this up before you cut this open, all right? And this has to go. Note that this is the part where you cut off. And also this is the part where you either cut off or you close up. So I believe you understand that right now. Please like this live stream, like the live. I hope you're getting that. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comments. Thank you everyone for joining in. Thank you everyone for joining in. Okay, so I'm going to move this a bit so we can use the same lines that we have drawn for our back pattern. So I'm just going to extend this line, extend the lines further a bit so it accommodates the back pattern. Still on the same paper, okay? Okay, so I'm going to pick this point right now as the center front. I hope I'm still in the camera view. Okay, so let's have this point now as the center front for our back. Okay, now this is the center front and then this is the shoulder line for the back. So now I come on here and I impute the same front neck width. Okay, neck width must be the same, all right? And for my neck depth, I go on to impute okay, so this is still good. So for my neck depth now, I go on to impute 1.5 inch for my neck depth, and then I connect these two together. So I connect that together with a curve just like that. This is the neckline for the back. I come on here to impute my shoulder divided by 2, which is 7.5 inches. And I do the same 7.5 inches right here as well. Then I square this line all across. Okay. Now I measure my bust divided by 4, and that is 10.1. Okay. I come on to the half of this distance divided by 2. Here is what I have, and I come on to impute my front width measurement, which is 14.5, and that will give me 7.25. Okay, so I connect these lines together just like this, and this line right here is my back width. Okay, this is my back width, All right, then I connect it to my bust measurement. Okay, just like this, and this is the armhole for the back. All right, so that's my armhole for the back. And then I come on here to also impute my bust span, which is 4.25. I mark out my 4.25 right here. And also on my waistline, I connect all of these lines together. And then I come on here to impute a 1 inch dart, ½ inch on the left and ½ inch on the right. Then I connect right here to the bust point, 1 inch below, 1 inch below the armhole depth. So this is connected right now, and this is my dart. The next thing to do now is to go on to impute my waist measurements, and that will be 37 divided by 4. That would give me 9.25 plus the 1 inch dart that I have going on here, and that will be 10.25. Mark out the 10.25 from right there and connect to the bust measurements just like this. Okay, and then all you need to do on this shoulder line for the back is come down by ½ inch or a 3/4, depending on how slopey the shoulder is. Then you connect that all together. All right, and this is what we have for the back pattern and also for the front pattern. All you need to do now is to go ahead to cut out all of this with your paper scissors. Also, do not forget to label this as the center back, okay? And also, because the back length and the front length are not always equal, you must come up here. The front length is 16 inches, the back length is 16 inches, and the front length that we have here is 17 inches. So you come up here by 1 inch, and then you connect the 1 inch back to the waistline. Okay, so at this point, ensure that this dart is looking like this. That should be the shape of the dart when you are cutting off. Okay, so now I'm just simply going to cut this out. Ensure that the shape of the dart comes out just like that. Also, do not forget to put annotations on this pattern. All right, neck weight, neck depth is 3.5 by 1.5. Okay, do not forget to put annotations right here. Neck width and depth is 7.5 by 3.5. So these annotations are really important, so that anyone that wants to pick up this pattern to use, we actually know what to do with what you have actually drafted. Please, when you are cutting this part, ensure that what you are following is actually the correct, or the new armhole is what you should follow while you want to cut out this pattern. Okay. So we are going to be cutting this out, all right? Then either sealing this up or cutting out. So I think sealing up will work best. Okay, so let's cut this out. Let me see, do we have any question? Okay, we don't have any questions, so let me keep cutting. Okay. So I have just sealed this up and then made this into a princess style line. So now it's important that you put notches and annotations. Okay, so you have to notch this point and ensure that you put an arrow like this that says notch, or then you write an annotation that says notch. So this is the bust point. These two has to meet when you are sewing this all together. Okay, so you notch this point when you are cutting this on your fabric. Notch this point so that it guides you when you are sewing. All right, so ensure that you put notches and annotations. This should also be labeled center front, which you must cut on fold. Okay, on fold, that should be cut on fold. And this you must cut. This is the side, which you must cut too. Okay, all right, so here is what you want to do. And then this is the back and this is the front. So you need to cut two of this. Also you need to cut two of this. Okay, and then you need to know that this is the back. Of course, by the time you write center back, you know that that is your back. Okay, and this is the center front. My marker is almost out. It's because I turned this upside down. Okay, so this is it. So this is the center front. It tells whoever that wants to cut this pattern that cut this on fold, and this should be cut two of this, cut two. And then also for this side, you also have to cut two as well. Okay, so this is the pattern that we have just created. I hope you enjoyed watching this. Before you go, don't forget to like this live stream and then drop me a sweet comment before you go as well. I hope you have enjoyed watching this live stream. Thank you for joining again this week. If you are on about fabric beading and embellishment, fabric embroidery, join me on the live stream on Sunday. Sundays are usually all about fabric beading, fabric embellishment, and all of that. Please give this live stream a thumbs up before you go. Like this live before you go. If you have any questions, please ask me before you go, and I'll be glad to answer all your questions. Thank you everyone for joining. Hi, hello, thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Okay, you say you are Turkish. All right, I'm Nigerian and I am right here from Lagos, Nigeria. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for joining me. All right, I'll see you all again on Sunday live stream while we'll do our fabric beading and embellishment teaching and tutorial. I'll see you on Sunday. Here is what we have just created. Okay, I think having it in this direction is better. It helps everyone see what we have done. Okay, so thank you everyone for joining. This is the bust points. Okay, so that's it. Thank you everyone.